Islam, 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 Moorish America. Want to rise upon the seven and give all praises to the great God, Allah, Father God, Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj, Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. But let us come forth with our ancient committee and adept Moorish American prayer. Well, they already did that already. I done mapped my way home, so we ain't got to come forth with the prayer. We actually coming forth with the measure. But we want to welcome our Moorish kin to another Moorish Perspectives. And I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shaheed Imani Al-Mohadi Shabazz El. And my ancient committee and high name being the same as Dr. Shedawal Minty El Mohajid Shepsuel. And I come forth before you Moors with yet another Moorish Perspectives. We got a grand drawing to bring on the manifest. It's going to be a powerful drawing as always. And we look forward to the participation of our Moorish kin. We want to give honors to all of those who are on our live stream as well. I think somebody got the...
That's pardon itself.
Okay.
National Assistant Grand Sheikh on the conference call, and you are in and out. Okay?
Okay, Islam. Oh boy. And I'm fully charged.
I don't see the link yet.
I'm fully charged over here too. Let me call back in then, because sometime that'll help it. Hold on.
All right.
Islam.
Yes,
Islam.
Welcome and thank you. Muted. The recording has started.
Islam.
Unmuted.
Islam.
Islam, we can hear you more. Gratitude.
Okay, gratitude. That's a lot clearer.
Yes, sir. A lot clearer.
Okay. Praise be to Allah. Islam, Islam, Islam. Gratitude, Grand National Secretary of the State, for holding the door open for us. Islam. All right. Let us rise upon the seventh and give all praises to the great God, Allah, Father God, Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj, Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We always want to rise and give praises to the great God, Allah. I come as a man of no reputation, so it ain't no need to come forth again and get a high name, but we definitely on the manifest. And Moors, let me know if this line go to acting crazy again, because ain't no telling what it does. It's been like that, seemed like this through the week, been dropping on me and everything. Nothing wrong with the phone. So just bear with me. So Islam, we want to give honors to all of our Moorish kin again, and welcome you to another Moorish Perspectives. I want to say this too, before we even go into our special measure. The Moorish Perspectives is a drawing where Moors can come forth and exercise their fire, and demonstrate what it is to be Moorish American Muslim. And so when we open up the floor to our family. You know, we are looking for your perspectives. We are looking for your free thoughts, so to speak. What we call love thoughts, or we can call it the gifts of understanding coming from the treasures of Allah. You know, so we ask that our Moorish kin most definitely give our people some insight, because where you are silent at, you know, this is what our people may be needing. You know, so we just want to say gratitude to all of our Moorish kin for everything it is that you do, everything it is that you have done, everything that you are planning to do, and so forth and so on when it comes to uplifting fallen humanity. We got a grand subject matter to be brought on the manifest, Moorish kin. Like I said, as always, we are most definitely here to uplift fallen humanity. This is our goal. And we encourage our Moorish kin to have their paper and their pen on handy, you know, and again, give the Moorish kin a piece of your mind. I want to give honors to all of those who are present on the live stream. The link should be popping up on our Moorish kin anytime now. I sent it a few minutes ago. I'm sending it again now as we speak to make sure our Moorish kin get it. And we want to welcome those who are tuning in on our live stream to your Moorish American government. Feel free at any time to call in, you know, to our special line. You can go to our government website and you can find everything it is that you need in order to navigate into this special nation. Your gifts of understanding long awaited, so to speak. You know, so there is no such thing as a right or a wrong question or answer here. We open up the floor to our Moorish kin. You know, where we give clarity, but you know, we ain't here to browbeat our people, so to speak, intimidate them from speaking, if that's what our people would like to demonstrate. So it's an open forum to our family. So Moors, for those of you who are tuned in on the line, you should have got that link. And I just got it. So praise be to Allah, Islamism. That means everybody else got it. So we want to give honors to our family. And our subject title is, who is it that did bind me thus? Why did I meekly sit to be bound down with chains? You know, and I was thinking on that special ayat, you know, because I think about the collective of our people as a whole. And it's almost like the consciousness of our people is on lockdown when it comes to doing for self, when it comes to building things for self. And we often see where our people have many different excuses as to why it is that they believe that we cannot accomplish a thing, such as coming together, building our own nation, and so forth and so on. You know, and they meekly, you know what me and meek mean, right? To be meek, you know, is to be humble. Nothing wrong with being meek, right? But some of our people are overly meek, so to speak. And so what happens is that we begin to accept oppression as the norm. You know, the mind becomes desensitized, so to speak, when it comes to dealing with this special demonstration. We call it post-traumatic slave syndrome. We call it being content with it. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali called it mental slavery. You know, so why is it? We want to ask this question, you know, individually as well, being collectively. You know, we can go back to the time when we were in chains, those of us who are free now, or we can go into the state where we feel like we have some chains to still break right now. You know, but who is it that binded us? You see? Why did we sit to be bound down with chains. You know, we are told that no man or woman, so to speak, and this is the paraphrase, has the power to strip away your nationality and divine creed unless you believe that their power extends beyond that of the great God Allah himself. And that is actually a form of what we call idolatry, meaning that your fear has caused you to begin to worship man more than you worship the great God. So if you believe that the power of man extends beyond that of the great God Allah himself, this then is the power, a loss thereof. This is the power, that our people give away constantly when it comes to dealing with, we talked about it, that slave maker, slave breaker, slave catcher, slave holder, and so forth and so on. So why do we meekly? Let's think about it now. Most of our people come up with every excuse in the world when it comes to, again, why it is that we can't do a thing, why it is they believe that we can't accomplish something. But yet you will see them in most cases just basically lollygagging. Most of them don't pay attention to a thing unless that thing becomes a trending topic. Right now, if freedom became the trending topic, you'll see all our people jumping on the bandwagon like they knew what was going on all the time, and we see this every election year, where everybody all of a sudden get involved with, oh, let's vote. Let's get out here and push and vote. Now people go out by the drove. They buy T-shirts and flags and, all types of stuff. They run ads. If they musicians or artists, they'll get out there and make songs about, who it is that's going to be elected, who it is they want to be elected, who they supporting, and so forth and so on. I'm talking about this is a yearly cycle now. But if you ask them, the same people that have that drive, let's demonstrate self-determination, they act like you spoke blasphemy. And if you see, when we say self-determination, we talking about building self-government. We talk about having our own flag seal. Like, what is the problem? What's wrong with it? Who is it that binded our minds so much and so that we meekly sit to be bound with chains, mental slavery? Who did it? Especially when we think we got a PhD and a bachelor's and a master's and all this right here. We supposed to be so super intelligent. Not even just dealing with those who are dealing with higher training, higher learning, but even when it comes to dealing with our people that are in the so-called conscious community. The woke people, as they call it, they done made it a issue to be woke now. You got people scared to say they woke now. One time, it was good for one to say that they are woke. I have awakened. But now, ones is scared to even say they woke now, because being woke now has been attacked just like they was trying to attack, them little movements they were running around here having. So the thing is, if we are not willing to sacrifice, put it all on the line, life, blood, and deed, if we are not willing to risk it all, so to speak, when it comes to being free, then we'll never be free. Every nation on the earth that you know of that have strove for freedom, all of those special nations had time periods. You see, I want to do something right now while I'm here. I'm gonna present this right here. Let's try something right here. Let's try something. I'm gonna type this in. Who is the most recent nation to gain independence. Right? We're going to see what it say. We're going to see what it say. There you go. Africa. The newest internationally recognized country in the world is the African country of South Sudan, which you hear me say that all the time, which declared independence July 9th, 2011. How many years that is ago? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, that's a little over a decade, right? A little over a decade. Now, this is Sudan now. Let's see. It has another question. What is the newest country in the world? They put Sudan up here again. Now, matter of fact, they even get a definition of how countries come into being for our people who are not literate when it comes to this, because most of our people have no idea as to how nations become nations. It says, so how do new countries come into being? Although there are no official rules per se, there are generally accepted criteria rooted in international law. The Montevideo Convention of 1933, many of us are familiar with this. It defined a state as a sovereign unit that could meet 4 benchmarks: having a permanent population, Moorish America; having defined territorial boundaries, occupied America, which is Moorish America; having a government, which is a Moorish American government. They didn't say having an organization or none of that. And then having an ability to enter into agreements with other states. And we definitely have that ability. Remember now, the main question that was asked to us, is there a unanimous will among your people to be free? Why did you sit so meekly and allow yourself to be bound and chained? Even the people, because the UN, they don't make you free or whatever. They just recognize free people. So let that be understood. They do not grant the power of you to be a government. You a government, based upon the will of the people. That's in all of law. That's universal law, international law. The will of government is based upon, the power, authority of government is based upon the will of the people. So if there's no will, we already seen the power of the will. We demonstrated that last week. If there's no will for one to be free, you can forget about it. So again, let us go on. These are 4 things now. So you see, it's not hard at all. And then there are no rules. So if we say we're a government, we're a government. Now, when you talk about being recognized as a member state, these things take process, just like Sudan. How long you think they fought to be free? How long do you think they had to wait? Let me keep reading this right here, because we want to make sure our people comprehend this, so that after this class, our people will no longer sit down and meekly be content with being slaves. It says, furthermore, the concept of self-determination, the process by which a group of people form their own state and choose their own government. Moorish American government is the first to ever do it. Everybody else is imposters. Organizations are not governments. You can call yourself the nation of this, or this type of nation, or that type of nation. Nothing wrong with you saying that, but you're not truly a nation if you don't have a government. So let's look at a lot of these different groups that have called themselves nations. You got street organizations that call themselves nations. We can go in there. You got Crip Nation, Blood Nation, Folk Nation, People Nation. You see? You got who else? You got Aryan Nation, and everybody a nation now. You got in the religious field, you got your Nation of Islam, you got your 5% Nation, you got Moorish American Nation, We can go all the way across the board. Hebrew Israelite nation, we got everybody saying they nations. But how many are demonstrating government? And in fact, most of the people that saying they different nations are groups that are saying that they don't like the way that they are being treated. They don't like that they being subjugated to taxation without no representation. They don't like to be brutalized and shot down in the street. You know, they protesting all this right here. They don't like the way ones treat them, you know, when they moving through the highways and byways and so forth. They don't like to be discriminated against. And now you got all these different groups now, and this ain't to be disrespectful to none of these different people who believe that they are a nation. Nothing wrong with having the mindset. Your mindset is on point. But why not become a true nation? Now, all of these different groups, Hebrews, Moors, and all these different groups you heard me name, NOI, all of them are subject to the United States Constitution. Yeah, I said it. It's the truth. The NOI is a corporation. The MST of A is a corporation. The church is a corporation. We don't say that to try to attack them or be against. We just telling you the truth. They corporations. And by the virtue of them being religious, they cannot act in political affairs. If they do, then their 501c3 will be taken from them because they don't supposed to participate in politics. These are religious corporations, 501c3s, nonprofit organizations. These are not governments. Now, ones, if they had the right mind, they could have used those things to catapult them into being nations and governments, but they ain't thinking like that. They content with having a whole lot of membership. They think that dressing up, you know, in the garb, you know, and being out there on the front line, you know, in suits and ties and, you know, fringes and, you know, everything, dashikis or whatever, long as you do it by the hundreds, then this right here make you a nation. This is what our people think. It look good. It look real good. It look real good, family. But there's a difference between, you know, the semblance of what it looks like to be a nation and being an actual nation. The Grand Quran said like this: each party rejoicing in that which is of themselves. And that's what's going on. Our people are too busy trying to convert individuals into their ideology. And they've been doing this for hundreds of years. You know, and that's no different than two inmates fighting over who gonna sleep on the top and the bottom bunk. I give honors to our chairman for that analysis because I was saying that, you know, when I was in the Disma Crips, you know, prior to even reading the Book of Fire. And I seen that, well, we got kindred spirits, you know, because the chairman, you know, he said the same thing. I'm like, we look crazy trying to argue over and fight over, you know, who gonna sleep on the top bunk when the gate wide open. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's insanity. And that's what our people look like, you know, when they're thinking that who can amass the most membership is the most successful. Well, if that's the case, then why you ain't free? For those who think that when it comes to dealing with sororities and fraternities, we ain't doing this to attack nobody, family. You know, we just trying to get you to see something. The most prominent, you know, in organizations, you know, that think they got some power, you know, when you get up into dealing with them secret societies and Freemasonry and so forth and so on, they all over the world. Let me hold up. I'm gonna come right back to this right here. Watch this. I want y'all to see this. Freemasonry is all the way over there. Let me make sure. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to reshare this here because I want to make sure y'all see this here. And we ain't doing this here to bash nobody. We just trying to show you something. We trying to make a point here. Look here. These African Masons. You see this? Yeah. All over there in Africa now. They got Masonic lodges over there. Look at them. They standing out there in the dirt on the huts and they dressed up in Masonic regalia. I'm showing you this right here for a reason now. And many of them are boasts, you know, that they are the most powerful organization in the world. They are all over the world now. So if they are united in these lodges all over the world and been here longer than anybody, and most of them in political positions and everything, why haven't they proclaimed themselves free as a government? They'll say they ain't free, ancient, and accepted, but are they a nation? Is the Masonic organization a nation? I'm just asking the question. Is the Masonic organization or the Shriners a nation, or is it an organization? It's a simple question. It ain't got nothing to do with attacking nobody. I'm just asking this question. And we going all the way around the board. We ain't stopping just here. We going here because therefore our people think they more influential. Look at them. All over the place. I ain't got no opposition or hatred toward, you know, these particular ones. We just stating the facts. Look at them. You see them here. That's that one picture with Jay-Z up there in the lodge. But you know, we ain't got to keep going. We ain't got to really browbeat, you know, the situation. You know, and then you got your Shriners and your Elks and, you know, Negro organizations all over the world now, but still can't come together as one people. In fact, even in the Masonic degrees, there's some segregation going on up there. When it comes to the European, I got the court case when they sued, you know, the Masons and the Shriners, you know, for basically practicing what they call spurious and bogus masonry. So the European don't even acknowledge some of these. Some of them will if they choose to. You know, some of them acknowledge this, but most of the cases, they felt like the Negro was infringing upon their right. This was going on during the time of the Canaanite temple. Same stuff when Suleiman, who was a co-founder of the Canaanite temple with the prophet, was going back and forth with Caesar R. Blake. They be talking about it during their Masonic Jubilee. You know, because he claimed that none of them was practicing proper masonry. He said them are the European, because he was a real Mason from, what did he say? Egypt, Khartoum. He the high priest. So this is why him and Prophet Noble Drew Ali fell out, because that was what he was trying to push. You never see where this guy was out here trying to push what the prophet was pushing. He was trying to go amongst the groups like the Canaanite Temple, the Commandment Keepers, Marcus Garvey movement, and make recruits. And he did come back over here to the West with Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'm gonna go deep down into this right here because I want y'all to look at him. Y'all know who that is right there. That's Webster. Used to watch him on TV, didn't you? See him in Masonic regalia. Look at that. Y'all see it. We can't make this stuff up. You see who that is? Shaquille O'Neal. All of them now. And Alonzo Mourning too. That's why he liked the number 33. You know, but my thing is all these so-called people, and you mean to tell me that our people ain't got no influence? They slaves? They still slaves? Huh? But they say that they, you know, brotherhood, right? Look at him. Look at Farrakhan. You see him right there. This is not a Photoshop, people. John G. Jones, 96 writer of Memphis. Look at him. Now, not only is he Masonic, look here. He more closer to this European, and I ain't saying that to tear the brother down, but you don't see him next to the Moorish Americans like that. I'm telling you, people, you better wake up. You know what I mean? I mean, we can just go on and on and on with this demonstration. What I'm trying to show you is that all these people coming together, you know, sitting down at little powwows, and we still ain't free. Huh? We still ain't free. Again, this ain't to attack that organization or attack them people. We just saying that ain't no government. And if you get mad because I say a Masonic order ain't a government, you know, then something is wrong with you. Because you know I'm telling the truth. Now, they may use the terminology, you know, governing body and all this type of stuff here, but we talking about actually governing a nation. Sure, you got people in these organizations that's in different seats of authority and so forth and so on, but it's still just an organization. I got to drive this point home and make it plain. We're not attacking, we telling you the truth. Now watch this. Let's go to another level. Let's do this. If you don't know what we talking about, you're gonna know it by the time we get done with this. So I just type in Nation of Islam. Now, look at all that membership right there from back during the days. This is like during the 70s and 60s. All that membership that they got right there. And still, in this time, ones have not become a government. We're not saying this to attack them. We're just telling you the truth. If you get sensitive about this and you're a part of this particular body, because I studied those teachings, never became a member of the NOI, but I know them well. I'm just saying, family, this is an organization. See, you think when you see pictures like this right here, brothers suited up and booted up or whatever, that this right here mean that it's progress. No, that's just a bunch of individuals in uniform. And don't let them get the drilling. Nothing wrong with that now. We ain't trying to critique and go into that right there from a, you know, a conflicting aspect. We're saying if we got this many people together, then why haven't they came together and built a real government? That's what we're trying to find out. Come on now. Now, not only them, let's watch this. Let's type in Nation of Israel. Well, they don't have their stuff up here no more. But if I put that's what they used to call him. He used to be a part of the NOI, the Nation of Israel, Brother Yahweh ben Yahweh. Locked him up, exiled him, sent him up there. I think he got sent to Canada, if I ain't mistaken. Couldn't even talk to his people that he had brought forth. You got a Hebrew brother up here with a fez on his head, with more on it. But this was one of the biggest Hebrew Israelite movements it was, right down here in Florida. And most of the ones you see now come from that. But that's still an organization. That's not a government. You see? This is the point we're trying to make. These organizations. Man, we can go all over the place. 5% nation. Nation of gods and earths, as they call themselves. Again, this is not going at these ones. And they got heavy membership. Just like all the other organizations, they got heavy membership. You know, and most of them end up going into the NOI at some time, or even Orthodox Islam. In fact, the brother who named me Shaheed, our beloved brother, should be home now. You know, he come up through that particular demonstration. That's an organization, though, family. You know, the Nubian Nation of Moors. You know, what they like to call the Nubian Nation. Yamasi, Native Americans, all these different groups are basically under corporate governance. Even the Native American demonstration, when you're talking about Indians and reservations and all that right there, that ain't gonna save you neither. Corporate governance. And it's good to see our people come together in whatever level. Don't get me wrong. We honor our people for all the attempts that they have demonstrated, family. We honor them for all that they attempted to do. Prophet Noble Ali said, you know, that the Moors were going to come into their own in the year 2000. You see? In the year 2000, that's what he said now. So what is the problem? Why do we meekly sit? Now, I'm just saying this because out of all these different groups that I've named, a lot of them will complain. They will speak about the way they're being treated and mistreated and ran amok and all this type of stuff. But yet they still have their organizations under the United States. Why not bring your organization under your Moorish American government? Huh? That's the umbrella to unite us all. Everybody be talking about, I'm trying to build on unity. No, you trying to convert somebody to believe in what you believe in. For the sake of just saying I got membership. The time for these things are over with. And that's why they sit there meekly. They sit meekly and allow themselves to be bound and chained. The reason why they do that because they think they free. This is why Harriet Tubman said what she said. She said the most of the people, you know, she could have freed more people if they didn't believe that they wasn't slaves. Some of our people think they free if they got a little change, or, you know, they get in a position and so forth and so on. We're going to see what happens when they switch and shift this currency. It's going to get real ugly, family. What about the people that are not savvy when it comes to dealing with, you know, computers and internet? It's already acting crazy too. What you think gonna happen? What you think gonna happen when they move to card over paper money? Everybody that thought they was calling, they used to call it, they new generation called the dope game. They call it the trap. Yeah, it's the trap because you're gonna sure enough be trapped. You see? Because you can't exchange no currency now. What about the one think they're gonna rob a bank? How you gonna do that? Huh? What about prostitution, sisters? And we don't mean that in a derogatory way. We saying, how you gonna do it? So if you don't have something to stand upon, and I keep saying it ain't financial aspects, it's a lack of unity. I'm mentioning all this right here because I'm saying if we don't unite, we will perish. We're gonna be like the dinosaurs. And the world ain't gonna miss the Negro. The world ain't gonna miss the so-called black man and colored man. In fact, if you go through certain areas in social media right now, I done seen it with my own eyes. You got people, you know, talking about us. I'll be glad when the world is rid of these people. Everything that's done to us is our fault. And to a certain degree, yeah, some things are our fault, but we know the conditions that were created in order to make us the way that we are, make us think the way that we think. This is what we got. People got this stuff going on now. Every time something happened, then they throw the stuff, what a BLM, Black Lives Matter, that. Just look at some of the forums, family. You got people saying, I'm glad I ain't part of that wretched race. And our people just go on with the get along, separate and divide themselves even more. Man, that's a sad situation, family. That's a very sad situation. You know, so that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. Why do we sit meekly? Why do we do this, family? Why do we sit there knowing that one's trying to wipe you out or get you up out of here, out the body, so to speak, trying to wipe you from the face of the earth, so to speak? The only time you worth something is when you sitting in somebody's penitentiary. You can take a bum who ain't got nothing, never had nothing, put him in a federal institution, he worth $1,000. Currency. Get back out here. Man, we already know the story. And if it's state, it's $100 a day. Come on, family. Yeah, that don't mess with you. Somebody that ain't worth nothing can't have nothing. But yet you on the stock market. They put you in the penal system and you automatically generate currency. And you don't see our people criticizing. They want to forget about what was done to us under slavery and bondage. Man, that stuff, oh, I ain't talking about that, you know, and so forth. And then go to complaining at the same token when you see something happen. As if you didn't know that these things was going on. We seen the alphabet community advance, you know, far more, you know, in a few years than we done advanced in 400-500 years. They got their own little flag. And Jesse Jackson had that out there in the beginning. But that's a whole nother measure. But I'm just saying, family, we got to do better. We got to come up out of that situation. So if you part of these different organizations and groups, like I said, don't take it like one trying to attack you, family. We just saying that is not a government. So when you see us over here doing work in the Moorish American government, and we over here building a nation, that's the difference between us and what everybody else is doing. We done tried everything yet. We done tried sitting down, protesting, revolutionary, shoot them up, bang, bang, thugging and drugging. We done did it all. The only thing that we haven't done is build government, demonstrate self-determination on our own flag, seal, emblem, divine constitution, bylaws, declaration or proclamation of status and jurisdiction. That's the only thing we ain't tried. And then when you do see it, oh, that ain't gonna work. That's another thing about our people. And they don't just do this with nation building. That's just anything progressive. Anytime you bring something progressive up to our people, they always look for failure in it, on how perhaps it may not happen. You can tell somebody, one of our people, you know what, man, I think I'm gonna go get me a truck or something, anything, a house or whatever you want, just whatever the case. And well, you know, this they're gonna kill you on this here, this payment, they're gonna eat you up, all types of stuff, negativity. And it's the same thing that carry over into when it comes to self-mastery. We was building one time and we had everybody in agreement. Y'all seen me dealing with a lot of different groups. And all of us on one accord, and you got some MBCs coming up in there. It ain't gonna happen, okay? We is not finna come together. We already united. What you talking about? We already talking about unity. What are you talking about, family? Who sent you? Why did you sit down so meekly and allow yourself to be bound and chained? We can see it even when it comes to the information. Our people don't even want to accept information from our people now. Every time you give them something, you can just do a little post and they want to vet. Let me vet what you saying. I ain't got nothing to prove to you. Everybody that know Brother Shaheed know that when I come back, I'm going to come right in exact. And I can prove anything that I say. Now, whether you accept it, that's on you. I can prove my government is the Moorish American government. I can prove that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is a prophet and he was sent by the great God Allah. I can prove the origin of our flag, the origin of our seal. That has always been here. I can prove all of these things. You see, have proved it many times. And you still have people that want to come, and ask crazy questions. Just for the sake of asking questions and being out. There's some people that they know that you right and exact. So they just want to try to find a reason to find a gotcha moment. They want to just find a reason to say you wrong, as if that's going to be the end of the world. If they can just prove you wrong. This is what our people spend their time doing. Proving me wrong ain't going to do nothing for you on the credit side of life, nor is it going to do anything to harm me. You see? Because I ain't going to never get out here and say nothing that I can't back up or that I can't show you in black and white. But what I'm saying is, family, we got to stop this nonsense. We got to stop this behavior. We got to stop being humble, under oppression, and then try to be so arrogant and egotistical, when you see our people out here trying to demonstrate unity. Now, all of a sudden, you know something. Well, if you know something, then why you ain't freed yourself yet? Why you still a slave then if what you're a part of is so powerful? Why if you go up in that European courtroom, he gonna treat you the same way as he treats somebody that ain't a part of what you're a part of? Ask that question. Because you ain't gonna find no government in the courts of another government. You never see China up here on trial. You might see a fool that come over here and act crazy, and then they take them up there, but they still gonna have to go back to their homeland and be dealt with properly. But you ain't gonna find no whole government on trial. If the European want to, they can take the MST of A right now. And we ain't saying this to attack them. They can take the MST of A right now and indict the MST of A. I mean, if they can prove and say, okay, these ones over here, they RICO and selling dope and, all this type of stuff right here. You can't do that to a nation. If you try to do that to a nation, then that's considered an act of war. That's a coup to overthrow a people. You can't do that, but you can do an organization like you can take the NOI. If I can find some corruption, you can take the 5% nation. You can take the Masonic order, all of these different groups. If you can find some corruption, they can come forth and put you in their courts and you be at their mercy. You cannot do that with a nation. People, do you understand what I'm saying? You cannot put a nation on trial. That's an act of war. This ain't just fancy words that we saying trying to sound slick or sound good. We telling you what it is. That's the difference between an organization and a government. Some of our people just like to feel good. Some of our people are followers. See, you can tell the difference between a stomped down soldier for the great God Allah, because if they the last one that's standing, they'll be on the manifest demonstrating while everybody else going left. Everybody leave, but a follower, somebody that's easily misled. I like the 5% brothers, you see, because they used to, I like the way that the brothers will break down 100% of the population. 5% the poor righteous teacher, saying, well, it's only 5% of the people in the world that's willing to teach the people the truth. And they say, well, the 10% is the evil power elites who manipulate the masses through new forms of slavery. And then they say the 85% is the blind, deaf, and dumb. Easy to be led in the wrong direction and hard to be led in the right. You see? And that's the breakdown between 100% of the population. Easy to be led in the wrong direction and hard to be led in the right. And some that are part of the organization, easy to be led in the wrong direction, hard to be led in the right. And that's the way it is in all these different groups that I done spoke of. Sure, you have those who come up under these different groups. You got some individuals, that may mean well in their heart. They want to really help their people. But we don't need to philosophize and, romanticize about those who are among these different groups who have a love for their people. We ain't got time for that. It's nation time. So either you gonna build or be destroyed. We ain't gonna destroy you. That ain't no threat. So don't say Brother Shaheed say he gonna destroy you. We saying that by your own ignorance and your negligence, you will be destroyed by the circumstances and the conditions that come upon you. The tsunami of poverty, the tsunami of starvation. And we can go on and on and on. The storms of oppression. Or did I say the boot of oppression? All of these different demonstrations, family. So let me go back. Let me go back. Because they ain't getting it. I love you, family. And then the crazy part about it, our family actually, their teachers and their leaders told them. It's crazy. Honorable Elijah Muhammad himself told the NOI that he was just giving them a wake-up message. That's what he said. He said, I'm just giving you a wake-up message. He said, we need new teachings. We need new rulers, a new ruler, and all this right here. If he felt that he was the end-all, be-all, why would he say that? Why would the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that in his book, The Theology of Time now? He said that he was the forerunner of God himself. And they teach, just like we teach, we don't teach no spookism either. They definitely teach God is man. So if he's saying that he came as a forerunner, laying a foundation for God to come behind him, the God man, are you talking about the spook? Are you talking about a Holy Spirit that can't be seen, or a spirit outside of man or in man? So if the leadership that come behind him is still teaching organization and they ain't teaching government, then they ain't the ruler that he was talking about. Because the ruler, he said, was going to come build a government of the great God Allah. And ain't now leader did that outside of our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Pert M. Heru Tuta coming back. Hate it or love it. Now one of them leaders, as a matter of fact, the last speech Farrakhan spoke, he called the United States flag his flag. He called their constitution his constitution. You know why? Because he duty bound Masonically to honor that. See, that's another thing. Not saying we disrespect, you know, what they saying or whatever, this and that. We just telling you that he ain't the one. And matter of fact, I was on it. Go look on my page in my videos. I was on a panel when he was speaking. And he asked them, what kind of government y'all looking for? He know that ain't his job to be a government. He just came to be interpreter of what his teacher taught. He didn't come to be a government. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said he gonna lead a European here long enough to teach the Moors how to run a government. If the MST of A was already a government, he didn't have to lead no European here to teach the Moors how to run a government. Because he would have said, I have taught you how to run a government. And this MST of A is the government. And so you got people that have recently started telling our people a lie and want you to believe that ecclesiastical body politic is a government when that has to do with a church. Christianity. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, return the church and Christianity back to the European. So why would he put you up under that? Then you got some of our people, they put Robert Rules of Order over the Moorish Holy Quran and the Prophet's teachings, his oral statement. They'll exalt them just like the Arabs do with the Hadiths over the Grand Quran. So everybody messed up. Each party rejoicing in that which is of themselves. So why have we sat down meekly and became content with going nowhere fast? You know what that is? A hamster in a wheel, family. Hold up. Let me show you something. Because, you know, I want you to see this right here. Because y'all got to see this here. Let me see this here. Let me see. I'm going to see, can I get me a GIF here up here? Let's see what's going on. You see that right there? You see that hamster right there? Where is he going? He think he going somewhere, don't he? That's what we look like when we look for a leader after a leader to be a scapegoat, dress him up in fancy garb or whatever the case may be, you know, and start all over. We call it falling by climbing. Is he not falling by climbing right there, family? Is that hamster not falling by climbing? Constantly beginning and going nowhere. Everybody think that they got it going on, and they got it. So what I said a long time ago, if somebody don't want to see our people come together in unity, and they in opposition to that, most of them are benefiting from our enslavement. That's the only reason why they content with it. Because in some type of way, in their mind, they benefiting from it. So again, let's go back over here. Again, furthermore, the concept of self-determination, the process by which a group of people form their own state and choose their own government, right, was explored in documents and declaration of the United Nations beginning with its 1945 charter. Still, even when the aforementioned criteria appear to be met, internationally recognized independence is not a foregone conclusion. What often serves as a roadblock is resistance from the country which an entity wants to succeed. The inability to gain widespread formal recognition from other countries of the world. In other words, they say in the country that you try to break away from block, they don't have to block our people because they already know. They ain't, man, them Europeans is not worrying about our people. We the last thing on their mind. It used to be a time where, you know, COINTELPRO was on the manifest. They don't have to get out there no more. They laugh at our people now. They laugh at our people now. I seen something today. Let me see, can I pull this demonstration back up? I want to show you something. Hold up. Just give me 1 second real quick. Give me 1 second. I should be able to pull this demonstration up out of my history. Okay, here it go right here.
Being able to announce the indictments of 17 elected.
Let me show you something. This is what they're doing to the youth out here now. Okay, let's share it. There we go, right there. Listen to this.
Gang members for crimes all over Georgia.
Yeah, Barrow County grand jury indicted the defendants last week for crimes in 10 different counties. Fox 5's Claire Sims joins us live from the state capitol. And Claire, these crimes date back more than 3 years.
Now, this has been going on for months.
The indictment lays out more than 100 alleged counts from January of 2019 to October, just last month.
I'm proud to announce that our gang prosecution unit has indicted 17 alleged members of the 1-8 Trey Gangster Bloods in Barrow County.
Surrounded by law enforcement from all over the state, Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr says a grand jury has indicted more than a dozen people allegedly involved in gang activity in 10 Georgia counties, including Athens Clarke, Barrow, Chattooga, Fulton, and Gwinnett. The indictments come as part of Operation Dawnfall, an investigation by the GBI's Gang Task Force and the Georgia Department of Corrections. The indictment names 17 people alleged to be members of the gang 18 Trey Gangster Bloods and accuses them of everything from drug sales to murder. 2 of them linked to this June 2020 arson in Lawrence County. But Carr says one of their most egregious crimes has been recruiting young children by holding seemingly family-friendly events.
They host basketball tournaments and barbecues.
Now, you hear this right here now, right? This is what I'm trying to show you. In order for you to be killable, you got to be made a criminal. You got to be made anti-American. You got to be made a terrorist. You got to be made somebody anti-Semite. When they start ripening you for the kid, you know, that's it. You see? But their most egregious crime now, they don't care about the murder and the drugs and everything else. The most egregious crime, they said, is them holding picnics. Because they say they was recruiting. Now, don't this sound familiar? Ain't this the same tactic that J. Edgar Hoover used during the 60s? And I'm noticing all these groups, you know, they all right when they sell them drugs and killing up everything, but let them go do anything in the community, you know, that deal with trying to uplift, clean up, and watch what happens. Now this is where the crime comes. This is what lets you know ones don't want to see these ones go the right way. They want to see them ones demonstrate like that so they can use them as a scapegoat. And then you cry right along with them, you know, instead of getting out there going to teach them. Now look at the faces on these ones.
They do these types of things for one purpose, to recruit
look at this guy right here
into a life of crime and violence.
Governor Brian Kemp says that was one of the reasons Georgia educators pushed him to reopen schools in a meeting at the state capitol during the pandemic.
Because instead of us recruiting them to be on the ball field or in the band, they're getting recruited by street gangs because they're not at school. They're not around the people they need to be around, and they are getting targeted. And they were specifically saying 13, 14, 15-year-old kids. And that's why we're here today. Thank you all very much.
Did you see the smile on this guy's face here? Did you just see the smile on this guy's face?
Here today.
Evil.
Thank you all very much.
Watch this. Look at the smile on his face. You know, because they know that this is all targeting our people. And if you scared to talk like this right here, because you scared of what's going to happen to you, you might need to sit down. You understand? Because we're going to speak the truth. We don't speak radical. We ain't talking about tearing nothing up or none of that. We just speaking the truth. If you ain't got it in you to speak the truth, if you going to corners and bite your tongue, then this work is not for you. You understand? So when it come down to aiding and assisting the young, I always say teach the young, and the old should follow in shame. I used to say, I remember saying this. If we don't teach the young generation, I said this 20 years ago, because I remember saying, man, they think we something, man. Wait till them one come after us. I prophesied that 14, 15 years old. I was talking like this. And I was like, if we don't teach them young seeds that come up behind us better than we was taught, these are my exact words I used to say, then we deserve all the abuse and, you know, all whatever it is they bring to us. If we fall victim to, you know, all of that madness, is because we didn't go out there and do the work. You see what I'm saying? Because people assimilate and demonstrate, you know, what they imitate, so to speak, and what they've seen other people demonstrating. So, in other words, we got to be the change that we want to see. You know, so, you know, these just little small little things. I mean, but it have them all over the place. So anyway, it said here, South Sudan was originally the southern part of Sudan, which itself had become independent in 1956 after being ruled by Egypt and Great Britain. So that's from 1956 to 2011. All you tree jumping so-called, well, we ain't gonna say that right there. But anyway, everybody that ain't got no staying power, we're gonna be nice about it. Because your saving power is identified by your staying power. We done seen more come and go. Get all the way up to the 99.9 and turn right back around. Just like the Israelites in the Piscean records, being liberated, but always murmuring and crying and complaining. Seen miracles, seen the Most High turn manna and drop it out to him. This is what the book say now. Seen Moses strike rocks and bring water to these people that seen miracles, family. Seen the Most High work according to the scripture, right? And they still complain. So now look at our people right now. So look, wait, 1956 all the way to 2011, it took them that long. And if it take us that long or longer, because some nations took 200-300 years to gain their independence. Stop worrying about how you're going to be saved and get behind the prophet. Do your work. Make your mark while you're here. You don't have to see this whole thing come into fruition. It will be nice for us to, and we may well see this thing come into fruition. But I'm saying, if it come 100 years or 200 years now, then what is the problem? I'm talking about that ain't got nothing to do with the work we do. Somebody recognize our acknowledging us ain't got nothing to do with the work that we doing. Because all the time that we've been playing house in these different organizations and corporations, we could have come together by now with our own constitution, under our own flag and seal, and been a nation. But even after this right here, still something that's going to run right behind them lawfully chartered organizations, because they just content with being a member. They don't want to be a citizen of their own nation. It ain't nothing wrong with being free, Moorish kin. It is not a crime to be a nation of people. If you let somebody scare you like that, man, let me tell you something, family. I done been on both sides of we'll say, gunfire. You see, and even under the threat of that type of demonstration, I ain't never been scared. You know, so you got to come with something else with me. You know, you can't make me be scared and I'm going to be good because I'm scared. No, it don't work like that. I'm going to be good because it's in my nature to be good. I'm going to be good because I studied the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'm a God man, but I ain't no pushover neither. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, We just got to get up out of that state of being content. That's what I'm saying, family. That's what this whole measure about. Stop being meek under the foot of an oppressor. I ain't telling you go out there and tear nothing up, shoot them up. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm saying when you recognize wrong, like it says in the the teachings of Al-Islam, one of the lesser forms of faith is to hate a thing in your heart. But if you have the ability to change a thing, change it with your hand. If you can't change it with your hand, then change it by speaking truth to power. Change it with your mouth. If you can't change it, change it with the pen. But whatever the case may be, don't sit there and accept something that's wrong. Don't sit there and watch somebody commit wrong and you don't say nothing about that. We know a lot of our people used to that. I got in a lot of conflict because I done stuck my nose in situations where some people probably feel it shouldn't have been. I'm talking about standing in defense of people who wouldn't defend themselves. That's where most of my conflict come from. Trying to break up the fight or defend somebody that's weaker that ain't got the fight in them, and they end up, I'm on the front line. You know what I mean? I don't mind that though. Because I think about it like this. They be like, oh my God, they going to take you out the count. How people getting took out the count daily? Whether you passive or aggressive, it don't matter. Martin Luther King or Malcolm. So my thing is, family, we doing it to ourselves now. We canceling out our own culture now. We got so much hatred toward each other, we can't stand each other. Want to take each other off the count every chance we get. Don't want to work together. Even if we don't have the skill to do something, we don't want to follow somebody that know better than us. Prophet Noble Drew Ali say we ain't never did nothing but at the point of a sword. And I hope it don't come to that, because the sword in this new era and time is some hot lead. So it says, again, 1956, it said the population of Sudan was quite diverse, and we're getting ready to open up the floor. It says, with a striking difference between the population of northern and southern parts of Sudan. The north was dominated by the adherents of Islam, most of whom spoke Arabic, identified as Arab, while the people of the south tended to be African ethnic groups, adherents of Christianity or traditional African religions, speakers of various indigenous African languages, who came to use English as the primary language of education. I wonder how that happened. The pre- and post-independence administration, which were based in North, had trouble gaining acceptance by all of the diverse political constituencies in Sudan, particularly those in the South, leading to marginalization of the population there. As Sudan anticipated independence drew near, Southern Sudan's population, which had received very little representation, a new administration formed in 1954 feared that it would be further dominated by the northern-based government. The increasing tensions contributed to an armed resistance, two lengthy civil wars that took place 1955 through 1972, 1983 to 2005. The internationally supported 2005 Comprehensive Peace Agreement, crafted to end a long-running conflict between the North and the South, granted Southern Sudan semi-autonomous status that provided for a referendum on the independence to be held in 6 years. The referendum took place in January 2011, with about 99% of the voters choosing to succeed, and Sudan, with the support of the international community, declared independence later that year. Notice it said 99% of the people chose to succeed. That's what you call a unanimous will. You cannot get 99% of people to be in government because they think they are right being the nation of this, or this nation over here, that nation over there as an organization. They want to just talk about being a nation, but they don't want to be a nation. Everybody want to be a nation till it's time to be a nation. You know, so, you know, that's, I just, you know, family, I just want to say to those who truly are seeking to be free, you know, all is well. You know, may you all come forth and demonstrate what it is necessary of your talents to help your people, family. You see, this is what we're talking about. Like I say, we're not trying to attack any of these groups. The goal is to get you to see the difference between an organization and a government. And if that organization or those organizations are so good, then why haven't you become a nation yet? Why haven't you gained independence yet? Why are they still asking to be a nation? What we want and what we believe and so forth and so on. When all you got to do is just be it. That's because you still got a slave mentality. You have binded yourself. You meekly sit, bound in chains. Why do we do this? That's the question. It don't get no plain than that. We left all the esoterics out and we gave it to you raw and uncut tonight. It don't get no plainer than that, right? You can't act like you don't comprehend this. So Islam, what we want to do at this time, is we want to say anything that we said a benefit of our family, we don't take no credit for it. We don't seek to be uplifted, exalted, none of that right there. We don't care about none of that. We don't care about stations, none of that. Anything that we said that was a benefit to you, then it came from the great God Allah. Praise be to Allah for using me as a vehicle. I don't take credit for anything I said that may have been offensive to you. Then that's that scimitar. That's that scimitar talk. We don't intend to be mean and unjust, but we got to give it to you like it is. Our people out here dying. Ain't nobody got time to be playing. Freedom is not a game. So at this time, what we're going to do, we're going to open up the flow. In the conference call and online. We love you, Moorish America. We love you, my people. Islam. Star 6 your phone, family, if you like to speak, or if you're on our live broadcast, you know, you're on the panel, you can speak as well. Don't come up in with no nuts and bolts changing the subject matter. Islam.
Islam, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We hear you, grand man. Go ahead.
Gratitude. Dr. Eric Miller Bay, Moorish Virgin Islands. First I rise and give praise to Allah. Honors to Noble Ali. Honors to our Moorish American government. Honors to our Moorish flag or Grand National Seal and Emblem. Honors to Act 1 on everything Moorish. Honors to you, National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shido Ahmadiyya Mahajir for Grand Moorish perspective of the Moorish American government. And to answer the question on the floor, you know, as ayah 5 of chapter 31, chapter of study, Yahushua said, "Who is it that did bind me thus? Why did I meekly, or why did I meekly sit to be bound down with chains?" So, as you stated, you know, we do it for ourselves. Yes, we do it. We didn't have a clue. We were denationalized. Now that we come to the Moorish American government, get the understanding, now that Noble Ali lets us know in Act 6 of our divine constitution of Moorish America, you know, in this new era of time now, we are a Moorish American nation since 1865, and we're not NBC or Ethiopian anymore. You know, so we are doing it to ourselves by using the slave names that delude the slaves to continue in the same rut or continue to be bound down with chains in this new era of time now. You know, what does Stockholm Syndrome have in common with idolatry? To me, it's like, man, we're worshiping the chapter. You know, we're continuing to say, yes, slave master, I'm Negro, black, and colored, stayed loud and black and proud, and we continue to just be boggled down in mental slavery because it's not physical slavery anymore. And Africa fundamentalism by Marcus Garvey, he said the time has come for the Negro, to forget and cast behind him his hero worship and adoration of other races, and to start out immediately create and emulate heroes of his own. He said, ours the right to our doctrine. We must inspire literature and promulgate a doctrine of our own without any apologies to the powers that be. The right is ours and God. Let contrary sentiments and cross opinions go with the wind. Opposition to race independence is the weapon of the enemy to defeat the hopes of an unfortunate people. We are entitled to our own opinion and not obligated to or bound by the opinions of others. Allegiance to self first. Let no voice but your own speak to you from the depth. Let no influence but your own raise you in time of peace and time of war. Hear all, but attend only to that which concerns you. This is it. This is what concerns us. Nationhood, nation building, and come out of her, my people. Islam and peace and gratitude for allowing me to speak. Peace and love.
Islam and peace, and we give honors to you. I want to give honors to this good brother as well in our chat, brother Raheem Shamari. This is a good brother, you know, who come up through the NOI, but also came through the ranks of the MST of A, and he have always supported what we demonstrate in the Moorish American government. In fact, this was the brother that told us that I think it was one of his teachers that was present with I want to say Khalid Muhammad and a couple of other brothers when they was looking through moving things out of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad home, and they found the charter to Temple number 4. You know, this brother gave me that insight right there. We already know the truth because we got the membership rolls in there. You know, and for anybody who think, in fact, the brother was telling me that there was a discussion between John Muhammad and Khalid Muhammad on going back to teaching more science. And it ain't strange because if you look at a few videos toward the crossing over, going home with them brothers, Khalid came forth. He said, I'm a Moor, and I got sense enough to know that I'm a Moor. And I wouldn't tell you that I was a Moor if I didn't, you know, mean it. And we seen the brother John Muhammad talk about the Moors, you know, and he put the fez on his head on the podium, you know. So we give honors to the brother Raheem Shamari, brother, for being on the manifest. And this brother been on the manifest in dialogue with myself for, I want to say, at least about 10, 15 years. Every time I would make posts, he would support the post when a lot of the NOI family were trying to attack what we were saying. This an older brother, you know, he would let it be known, he know the unity between and what we supposed to be. We supposed to be building government. So I want to give honors to you, brother, if you still in that audience, brother Raheem. You know, honors to your grand man and the works that you do. All right. Also honors to Noble Brian L and everybody else there. So Islam, is there any other more who would like to come forth and give their portion? Islam, brother.
Islam, Dr. Larry Daniels Space, South Carolina, Council Agent. First I rise and give praise and glory to Allah, the most merciful. And I give high honors to his holy and divine prophet, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, the last prophet, in this new era of time. And I give honors to Act 1 of our divine constitution. And I honor you, brothers. Great class, as always, Sister Grand Sheik. And I honor all those Moors that spoke before me. And I honor all those Moors that speak after me. And I honor all my brothers and sisters online. Peace and blessings. Peace and love. Well, you know, brother, understanding that, you know, organization and government, you know, like our prophet taught us, you know, though they're similar, there are miles of difference between them. You know, because we understand, you know, from the teaching of our prophet that an organization can never own a government, but a government can own many organizations. So we, you know, just knowing the way these people operate, that any organization that is up under this the jurisdiction of this government has already been infiltrated. You see, and whenever they start to do anything for the community or do anything for us as a people, then that's when they get national news, because then that's when they bring out all of whatever they have been doing. You can do wrong, but don't help your people. You know, that seems to me that's their motto, because they always come up with it. We can do all kind of things in our community that's wrong. The time we do something right, it don't get international news because they control the media that way. So our children's future depends on what the Moors do and the changes they make today. You see, and no understanding that, like King and Malcolm and a lot of our other brothers, you know, they was just going about their business, you know, because what would be remembered of a man is his works. And I was thinking about that because I went to a ceremony today, a memorial, and I was thinking myself, you know, don't remember my picture or how I look, but remember the good deeds that I did. See, that's what man needs to work on, his good deeds, what he can do for man, and us as a nation, what we can do to raise the consciousness of our nation, even though, like you said, brother, we may not see the fruition. You know, it may not come for another 100, 200 years, but the future of our children depends on what changes we make today in our life. Not just talk about it, but be about it, you see, and understand the truth is the only thing going to make us free. You know, there's many brothers out there that's pulling, you know, for us to come this way or that way, but it's all personal. It's all about self-gain, you see, and this right here is about the selfless self. You know, man doing that unconditional love that the prophet has taught us. You know, because what I want is to do my part, even though I may not see us as a whole nation, but I know it's in action, because today I have already seen my government come into fruition. I see my flag, my seal, my constitution, the bylaws, you see, and that's how I speak, because I understand that we have those out there that have taken oaths of secrecy. They perpetuate our suffering for crumbs. But we understand also that the truth is the only thing on the manifest that's real, and it's on the manifest today. So we know, even if we're not here, we know that this right here is going to come to pass, because the prophecy will be fulfilled. Islam, peace and blessings.
Islam, we give honors to you. Yeah, you got a lot of people who out there doing things, like you say, for gain. One thing they can never say that about this Moorish American government, because out of now one of our officials here get rich, you know, off of what it is that our Moorish kin demonstrate. You know, most of us here in this Moorish American government, we make a living, you know, by our own hand. So nobody can never say that we taking advantage of nobody. We may aid, assist, or ask for aid and assistance, and we return the demonstration. Unless a Moor say, all right, Moor, you know, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? And so the grand measure is, at the end of the day, you said a key thing, you know, the works of a man, your ways, your acts and deeds, is what will be remembered. You know, and that's how we have to be. You know, enrich, you know, our people by what we leave behind through generational wealth. You see? And so the whole key is all of us have a mark to make. All of us have a portion of the book to fulfill. You know, one thing about it, if your will is not in accord with deific will, nothing that you will manifest. That's all I say to that. You know, it's the great God Allah who turns the heart of a people, you know, toward whatever endeavor it is that they choose to move toward. You know, but nevertheless, that don't mean you just gonna stop, you know, and just lay down, you know, because you feel like you know, everything else look like no. That's when I go harder. Islam. All right. I hear somebody there. Who is that? Brother Jerry Hamid Muhammad Bey?
Gratitude, Grandman. Yes. Forgive pardon self. You know, I'm out traveling. And first, yeah, this is Dr. Gerald Hamid Muhammad Bey of the South Carolina Consulate. First, let me rise in praise of our Father, God Allah, who is the best known arranger of all things. I give the highest honors to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who is the last prophet of this new era of time now. He is the seventh manifestation in divine flesh, the seventh angel of Revelations 10, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali. I give much love, honor, and respect to you always, National Assistant, Grand Sheikh of the Moorish American government and its nation. Always holding up the banner of truth, standing firm against all adversity, which is inevitable on this path. We love you, Grand Man. Keep doing what you're doing. You was born and made to do what you do. I give honors to Act 1 of our divine constitution and bylaws. And give honors to our Grand National Seal, our Grand National Emblem, and our Grand National Flag. I give honors to this theocratic government in which we all live and can live. I give honors to Marcus Mosiah Garvey L., the forerunner to our beloved Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And I give honors to all of our Moorish kin and all of our listeners on this StreamYard live conference call this evening. And gratitude to everything Moorish. Gratitude for this grand class, Grand Man. And I give honors to those that spoke before me and those that will speak after me. Islam, I want to start off with, I concur with all of my Moorish kin that have come forth. And you know, when you talked about this subject, right, that there's nothing wrong with us being a nation, you know, and that is founded upon the mindset of our people that they believe that we are actually citizens, that we are actually a part of this United States Incorporated. Well, in reference to that, the first thing I want to say is, in our lessons, in the Moorish science lessons, the question is asked, what is the duty of a prophet? And the answer is to save nations, not organizations. Like we say, we're not coming against anyone. Our job is to give you the truth with love. So that being said, I want to read a document, Grand Man, right, with your permission, to show that everything that we do is based upon law, because law governs all events. Now understand, this is coming from the Declaration of Independence, which many of us, even me myself, had never really took time to read until I came to these teachings of our beloved Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Listen very carefully, family. Listen what it says. It says, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which compel them to the separation. All right, now we're going to skip down because I want to get to the meat of some of this. And then it says, right? Excuse me. Let me find this real quick, Morris. Come on. Okay. Then it says, right, that when any form of government, listen, family, becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form so to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. One more thing, family. I can't find it. But anyway, I'm going to paraphrase from here because I don't. But it says paraphrasing. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations have taken place, right, it becomes the duty and the obligation of those who have suffered from that to form themselves a government to instill and bring forth, right, the liberties and the justice that they are entitled to. So I ask my listening audience, as the melanated, sun-kissed Asiatic people of this planet, especially of this nation, are we right in separation? Have we suffered hundreds of years of abuse, usurpations, rape, all type of atrocities, and it continues to this day? When will we wake up? And I will end with this. The forerunner to our beloved prophet Noble Drew Ali, who was Marcus Messiah Garvey L. This is what he said: no race is free until they have a strong government and nation of their own and a system of society of their own. Never be satisfied living under the auspices of another man's government, for you will forever be at their mercy. So family, it's nation time. The scripture says, come out of her, my people. We got to come out from the mindset of thinking that we are included in this system. We are not. It was founded for them. I'm not mad at them about that. That's what we should be doing. So come home to your Moorish American government, because whether you know it or not, all of us, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Nicaraguan, Nigerian, Ghanaian, all of us are Moorish. You put Moorish before that. Moorish Nicaraguan, Moorish Ghanaian, Moorish Puerto Rican, so on and so forth. That way, we are united. That's what the prophet called our one free national name. And once we do that, family, not only will we save ourselves, but we will turn around the whole course of the nature of the earth, because we are the people of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Islam and gratitude, grand man. Thanks for letting me share.
In Islam and gratitude for the measure, Brother Muhammad Bey. You know, and in the same breath, you know, dealing with the Declaration of Independence, you know, there's a Declaration of Human Rights. You go to our Moorish American government website page, you know, right up under our chairman, you'll see where it goes through the articles. Just let's deal with just a few of them. Listen to this. Does it sound like anything is wrong with this? or sound like some of our people behind. Article 1. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Can the NBC say that they born free over here? They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in the spirit of brotherhood, right? Then it says, Article 2, everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, proper birth, or other status. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of the political, jurisdictional, or international status of the country or territory to which a person belongs, whether it be independent, trust, non-self-governing, or under any other limitation of sovereignty. Article 3. Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. See, we want you to see, next time you think when you feel like you scared to think of free thought, keep this in mind. You have a divine right of life, living, and property, not because man said so, but because the great God Allah granted that to you. Who made you? Huh? Article 4. No one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Who did I let bind me like this? No one should be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms. Article 5. No one shall be subjected to torture or cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. Article 6. Everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. Article 7. All are equal before the law, and all are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law, and all are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination in violation of this declaration against any incitement to such discrimination. I mean, we can go on and on and on with this demonstration, but nevertheless, it tells you got a right here, Article 15. Everyone has the right to a nationality. Not one should be arbitrarily deprived of his nationality, nor denied the right to change his nationality. Huh? I'm going to stop right there. Moors need to really study that. Islam, is there any other Moor who would like to come forth and give their portion? Islam, Brother Shabak bin Bey.
Well, you know my name, Islam, Sister Grand Sheik. Hey, you sounding good out there. I just wanted to add something to the class tonight about what you were saying. I liked it what the brother Muhammad, Dr. Muhammad was saying. I just want to add something. So let me rise up and give praises to Allah and highest honors to His Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And I want to give highest honors to our forerunner of the Prophet, who taught this spirit that you are teaching tonight was really moving. Marcus Mosaic Garvey, he did tell us to return to Africa. And we know in this government what Africa means. Africa is a state of mind in this case. And he's telling us to unite, to be one, because we're standing on Africa right now. So I want to give highest honors to you tonight, and I want to also give highest honors to our government officials that is on the same leadership that you are, at one, triune. And I also want to give honors to all the honors that have been previously given. And I wanted to say how important this is to what you're speaking about, because when you start speaking about organizations, they have a purpose. One of the purposes of the organizations, as far as the Moorish Science Temple of America, was help me to realize the table that Allah had opened up through His Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, which you spoke on so eloquently again tonight, which government. And this government is an apparatus that will ensure that we not only get what we're supposed to get when we leave here, but it is also something that we need right here on Earth, because a government is capable of dealing with other governments. And you spoke on that tonight. It's very, very important. Organizations don't have that type of power. You know, they're not designed that way. And in the case of the Moorish Science Temple of America, which is a lawfully incorporated organization, if the United States at any time feels that they, for whatever reason that they choose, because they are a government which gave them a charter from our prophet, chooses to retract that document, then we would be at loss. So when we understand that, we know to prepare for that. I also like to say too that, you know, we've tried different things. Even after Noble Drew Ali came, we tried different things, and we found out that those things couldn't still muster up to this point that you're speaking about, where we can take and control our own selves and be our own self, like the Prophet Noble Drew Ali initially wanted us to be. He wanted us to be our own government, and we know that our government is a divine government and it's theocracy, and we also know that it's different forms of government, and ours is one of the highest government on this earth land. But I got different sufferings personally, but I can tell you one thing. This is what I can tell you: if you're gonna die, you might as well die for the truth. If you're gonna, we've tried everything else. Everything else we tried. We tried Mohammedanism. We tried Nation of Islam. We tried the Israelites. We tried all of these different things. We tried it, and not one of them was able to muster up enough strength for the salvation of an entire nation like the Prophet Noble Drew Ali has been able to do. So I just want to leave with this last thought that may be of some help by this particular forerunner who knew what we should be trying to do.
Okay, Islam, you done, brother Shabakman Bey? Okay, Islam, praise be to Allah. Well, that was a clip, same clip that's actually in the end of the song Moorish Ties that I recorded. You know, yeah. And I give honors. Yeah, our brother said something, and we're gonna leave on this note. Brother Noble Bryan in our live stream, brother always supporting the government. And he said we have to learn to love instead of hate. We have to change our minds about ourselves. Every other people can have a government that represents them, but for some reason we believe that we can't. And he put problem in all caps. That's the problem. You're right, brother Noble Bryan. We give honors to you. And at this time, what we're going to do, we're going to go to our officials. That's a powerful demonstration, brother. And for those who would like to come into our conference call, you can always come here in the live stream. But, you know, our conference call, the number is actually here. You know, you can navigate through all these different tabs and they'll take you everywhere. But no matter what, when you get down to the bottom, you can see our conference call here 7 days a week. 6:45 p.m. That's during the checkout time to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the call-in number is right here, 609-746-1180. We even have a playback number, 857-3570-221. And the PIN number, the extension is the same, 639-381#. And all you have to do is go to MOORISHAmericanGovernment.land. Also get the copy of the Exhuming of a Nation, family, the Book of Fire. Our chairman has the Book of Fire. He'll have all the literatures that one needs in order to get themselves into a grand state of consciousness. This is it right here. A little bit more dealing with the shipping has been added on. But nevertheless, get your copy, your autographed copy. We got the flags, lapel pins, everything. So we just want to say gratitude, family. It's been a grand draw, and we love you. And at this time, what we gonna do is call forth our officials. We want to call forth our beloved goddess and queen, Sister Alseta Moon L. We give honors to you, goddess and queen. Come on forth if you're there. Assistant National Grand Sheikh is here. Islam, sister.
Can you hear me more?
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear. You just got a little echo going.
Go ahead. Say something. Islam, can you hear me better?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you better here.
Okay, praise the Lord. First, let me rise and give all praises to Allah.
I was finna say mute out your other apparatus so they don't get feedback.
Islam.
Go ahead, goddess and queen. You got the floor.
Okay. First, let me rise and give all praises to Allah, and all honors to our Prophet Nabi Ali, honors to our Moorish American government, our officials of our government, and our citizens. Honors to Act 1, honors to our bylaws, our divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America, honors to all our Moorish kin that are on our streamline this evening, whether it be for the first time or repeating their appearance, honors for the support of our people that know the truth, honor the truth, and desire for our people to be united in truth. This was a grand class, Muslim. Praise the Lord for it. The unity that our people need to have, it might seem long coming, but I know our people are waking up. The prophet made a statement. He said, I can't wake them all up at the same time because they'll tear up something and he won't be able to do nothing with them. And the reason why he said that, because he knows our people have not yet learned to love instead of hate. And that's what he said we must teach. And we must uplift fallen humanity. Because giving them the love that our prophet has given us is what's going to cause them to calm down. Because they'll understand. And they see the love coming from us. And this creates unity. Of course, we're going to always have those antagonists that are full of fear and trying to portray like you're the problem. But as long as we continue to do the work and build and support each other, even if the smallest community activates, the smallest community organization, even if it's feeding the hungry, it doesn't matter if it's one person, just support our communities. Charity begins at home and then it spreads abroad. So if each one of us playing our little part, our part within our community, it's going to spread. Because love spreads just like air. And so we must think of this on a daily basis, because it helps our people to gain our trust, because that's a key element to the problem. Our people cannot unify with a mind of untrust or distrust. if they don't trust you, they won't listen to you. And that's what the European has done a grand job in doing, teaching us to distrust each other. Because remember, that's what he said in the Willie Lynch letter, The Making of a Slave. We must first teach them to not trust each other, but only trust the master. That's why he set himself up as God and ruler of our land. And our people believe, not all of them now, but a lot of them believe that they actually came over on ships and they had enough ships to carry all these Asiatics. And we know that's the furthest from the truth. And so once we get them to thinking, that's what the prophet said, I start you to thinking, you'll save yourself. And that's what we have to do. And we just continue to drop those seeds just like rain, like the prophet say, like the chairman always say. Just rain. The rain don't have no particular people that it rains on. It's impartial. It rains wherever it's necessary. And then keep it moving. And let the prophet germinate those seeds and they'll grow. So just keep the love up front, Moors. Keep our prophet up front and continue to show our people the love. And everybody that you could drop some seeds on, you just continue to drop them seeds of love on them. Spread that love around. And it's growing. I'm seeing it because our people are waking up. They have never been more open to this truth than now. And it's because the ethos has shifted. Things are perking, are waking up, or opening their understanding. That window, that crevice, that the truth could go through. Only the great God Allah, our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, El Hasharif Abdul Ali, have that capability. We just have to keep watering. Keep that love up front, Moors. And keep our 5 divine principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice before us. Islamism, peace and love. Gratitude for calling me forth.
And Islamism and peace and love for the measure, sister. All set. Rob Munir, we give honors to you, goddess and queen, for that drawing. Praise be to Allah. All right. Well, let us call forth our national Grand Mufti, Dr. Kanshu Ma'at Heru Bey. Islam, you there, Grand Man?
Islam.
Islamism.
Our religion, gratitude, Grand One, for calling us forth. We rise, first and foremost, giving all thanksgiving, adoration, worship, and praise to the only one worthy of those things, the great God of the universe, our Father God Allah. And we give the highest honors that we can give to his prophet, our prophet, the last prophet in these days and in these times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, El-Hajj Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, the Savior of humanity. We give honor to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honor to his government, our government, the Moorish American government, the government in which we live, according to Act 6. We give honors to the officials of this said government, our divine ministers and swift angels, mufti, royal council, our secretaries. We give honors to our citizens, the Moorish Americans. We give honors to our flag, our divine constitution and bylaws, our Holy Quran, our Grand National Seal, the National Emblem, our Book of Fire. We give honor to everything that is Moorish. We give a special high honor to you, National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. Shadu Amenti Ahmed Shepsel, for bringing forth the Grand Moorish perspective this evening. We give honors to all of our Moorish kin who have spoken before us, to our Moorish kin that will speak after us. We give honors to you, angels. We continue to give honors where honors are due, and honoring all true and divine prophets. And of course, we give honors to our ancestors as they have come before us, leading the way,
we are them today, without a doubt or contradiction, because no one has the power to change man from his descent nature. Praise Allah for that. And it's been a grand class, grand drawing, measures from a Moorish kin, and like one of the ministers said, you know, it's us that binds ourselves. You know, when we have to look at the situation that we're in and how we are tied up or are in a situation where we seem to not be making any progress, it's of our own doing. Because this is a national and divine movement, and the great God of the universe, our Father God Allah, has ordained it necessary for us to come up out of our simple ways, come up out of the plight of being enslaved. This is why he sent us a prophet. It's why he sends prophets to every people, so that they can come out of this punishment of being out of line with the divine. And so at this point now, there's so much knowledge he's speaking about, so much knowledge, so much information out here that it's hard to find an excuse. And there really ain't no excuse, because the prophet took all the excuses when he, you know, took the covers off of every secret organization. He exposed a lot of truth on what was going on. So there's really no excuse why one can say that they don't know what's going on. You know, some of our people still haven't got the light of truth, but it's so prevalent right now, so in the face of people. You know, the only reason that they don't know, for the most part, is because one is not doing the self-study. You know, because we find ourselves slaves to our desires and our simple material wishes. And that's the focus of our life, instead of the focus being on the betterment of the self, you know, the raising of one's consciousness to a higher vibration, and understanding that man is not the body nor the soul, but is the spirit that emanates the vessel within. And so we look at, as what you was talking about, how, you know, it has to be a unified thought between our people, and not one of demarcation or one of division, because that is the program that was set out by those who forefathers who went forth and conquered it, or conquered our ancestors. And so we got to continue as a people, a nation of people, as a people who are continuing to rediscover ourselves, connect ourselves back with the families of nations, connect ourselves back with our roots to the tree of life, which bears branches or divisions to every family or families of nations on this planet, and recognize that, you know, this is where we belong. As you read with the rights of indigenous people, that we all have these certain, say, inalienable or birthrights by being the creation of the Most High, by being the children of God. You know, given this divine consciousness, given the divine will, reasoning, thinking, remembrance, and understanding, to be able to make a choice in whether we're going to go left or go right, whether we're going to go wrong or we're going to go right. So what I'm saying is that as a people, as we've all come in here, we're all on the same thought pattern, or if we wouldn't be here, as far as that something must be done, that we got to put forth some effort in our own selves into correcting the situation that we find ourselves in. We can't be waiting on somebody else to come outside of our house to clean our house up. And know that we live here. You know, as we can understand, we don't really have communities. We have ghettos or projects, but we can make our neighborhoods community. We can make them something that is worth having because we know it's us, because this is where they send us. This is where they surround us. You know, they move out to the suburbs, or they move into an area that's being put out the price range of most of our people. And so that leaves us, as Brother Malik talked about, you know, you complain about having a poor neighborhood, but you got to look at the cycle of things. You know what I mean? The poor neighborhood doesn't get taxes for the schools, and so you got poor education because you got cheap teachers. You know, you got the bottom of the barrel of the teachers, which brings about bad education, which of course brings about, you know, a negative thought pattern on what you may be able to achieve, whether you even try to aim at doing something that is greater than what has been presented, and then the cycle continues. It's a vicious cycle. So we got to take the responsibility and say, well, you know, we don't have to continue to wait on these ones to provide us with the type of teachers that we need. We know we need them. You know, we just got to put in the self-work ourselves and go into these schools where our children are at with the thought pattern of, we're not here to get paid. We're here to get our children in the right mental thought pattern. We're here not to train our children, but we're here to educate them so that they can think for themselves. And that should be more important than to find out we got to all take care of our families. But that finance cannot be the end-all motivation for what we do. What we do should be motivated by the fact that we want to be free, that we want our children to have the best education that they can have, so that they can continue to be free and continue to move forth the agenda that we have as a people, having our own, being our own, and being recognized for the greatness that's within each and every one of us, and us as a collective, as a people, that the whole world already celebrates. But that recognition and that acknowledgement is given to these Europeans, who have called themselves the masters of us, and so everything that we do is attributed to them, and saying that, well, we made them like this, so give us the props instead of giving them the props for what they decided to do, making something out of nothing. So this has been a grand class, and that same thought pattern we got to take and looking at our what we think is binding us down to a negative situation, binding us down to a poverty-stricken existence, and say, well, who does bind me to this? And look in the mirror and say, well, you know, really, is my own concept, you know, because I won't be bound to poverty when I recognize that is my concept of what wealth is, or what riches is this something that's been given to me by somebody else? When I can recognize that my wealth is in my health and the interactions that I have with my brothers and sisters, and lifting us up as a nation, that's where the true wealth comes in, and understanding that then we truly, as the prophet said, children, you just plain rich. You got so much spirit, you got so much creativity, you got so much potential to do whatever you want. It's all in, you know, your whether or not that's worth something to you, and it is. It's worth everything to us to put into ourselves as we continue to see how when our brothers and sisters speak out in order to educate our people, or to bring some awareness, how they try to shut that down, how they try to take all finance and wealth from them because they gave it to them. And they allowed them to control it. So we can't allow that to happen anymore. We got to control, you know, that aspect of our reality.
And that starts with, of course, controlling the self and how we raise our children to be morally, so that we can have the correct leaders and the correct thought pattern as individuals in this national and divine movement, so that we can continue to move forward. So gratitude for the class this evening. Gratitude to you, MOORISH America, for being here with us and giving us your time and attention and respect. We love you. Islam and peace.
In Islamism, Grand Mufti, we give honors to you and the tribe for all that you do. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. Gratitude. All right. Islam. But let us call forth our Grand National Secretary of State, Sister Shepsu Rakat Ma'at and Pooh, Tutankhamun Bay. Islam. You there, Goddess and Queen?
Close to the thought. Gratitude.
Islamism, that's that love thought the Prophet brought.
Grand class. Islam. Islam, Moorish Ken. First of all, on the rise, giving all praises to Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Moorish American government, all of our officials, staff, with angels, muftis, divine ministers, most especially our Moorish Ken. Giving honor to all those Moors that spoke before me, all those Moors that will speak after me. Giving a special honor to our National Assistant Grand Chairman, Dr. Torre and New Rasul Simpson Bay, for opening our meeting according to law. Also, to our host instructor, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedo Amenti and Mohammed Chefsuel, for a Grand Moorish Perspectives class this evening, and to all of our family online. Our subject matter coming from Ayat 5, chapter 31, and Yehoshua said, "Who is it that did bind me thus? Why did I meekly sit to be bound down with chains?" And I tell you, Dr. Shaheen, it was a grand class, beautiful measures brought forth, so many keys. Just briefly focusing on the aspect of meekly sitting. And when you look at it in reference to where we are and us as a nation of people and the mission of divinity that we have on our hands, we recognize the fact that we can no longer afford to keep hating one another, killing one another, lying on each other, being scared to make a move, recognizing the fact that every minute of the day, our people are being taken off the count. And the ways are too numerous to count. You know, and we're not just speaking on a physical level, but dealing with the mindset. So we give honor to our Prophet, Noble Ali, for bringing the truth to us, that indeed, as long as we continue to cling to misnomers, that in essence, we are blindly accepting the status of being stateless or not being a part of any nation. You know, when you see that those that are in power doing everything, or pseudo power doing everything they can to take you off the count, then as our host stated, you know, you have a right to a nationality. So it's up to you to stop sitting on the sidelines, accepting, demonstrating insecurity, fear, whatever the case may be. And like you said, it's too much out here to come from that level of ignorance. It's up to us to, if we think that our condition can be better, then we've got to make a stand. So I look at it from the aspect that each and every one of us has got to ask the question, is there more that I can be doing? What are the talents and gifts from the Creator can I bring forth to assist my nation? We're not here, as our Moorish has stated, to wait for somebody else to pick up the ball and, you know, or we want to drop the weight on a few people and sit on the sidelines and criticize. That's not what we're about. We're speaking about building a pure and clean nation. You also have to ask yourself, what does your nation need? Because we are here to be of service to humanity. I've seen so many aspects in reference to those that want to, I'm a sovereign citizen. I can do what I want. But this, you know, that's a skewed understanding, because when you're speaking about a nation of people, you're speaking about one free national name. You're also speaking about the level of self-determination, knowing how to be self-sufficient. The prophet let us know that the European was going to let us down. So why are we sitting here waiting until we get to a position of starvation, poverty? We see that now. We've got to figure out what it is what talent do we have to see how we can be of benefit and service to humanity. Exercise the wisdom that we have coming from within ourselves. So the prophet also lets us know we've got to learn how to love instead of hate. The love divine is something that is natural to us as a people. And it's in our unity is where our strength is. That's why we see so many to our people, and not the aspect that we've got to come from, but we've got to have love for ourselves and love for our people and recognize the fact that Moors are active and not passive. So gratitude, Moor, for calling me forth. Much peace and love to all of my Moorish kin. Islam.
Islamism, Grand National Secretary of State. Gratitude. Islam, Chairman.
Islamism without a schism.
Oh, man, we're going to open this demonstration wide open. Islam, Chairman.
Islam. You know, I was into the chapter on dealing with heroism and giving praises to Allah and honor Prophet Ali, and it just brought forth the Declaration Proclamation, you know, of the Moorish American as a nation of people. And we've got to take this into serious consideration because there's a reason why we've got our own divine constitution. I mean, it is full of law that governs everything from infancy to old age to whatever, to death, okay? And so what we're concerned about with this special chapter, well, the public call it heroism. And so with this special chapter, it's bringing out the Declaration Proclamation of the Moorish American nation as a people. And I just wanted to highlight it because what the prophet brought to us is a saving power. So if you want to honor the power to save yourself, then be the God that you are. Be the national Moorish American that you are. Be the man, woman that you are. And you have to fulfill these things because why? That's who made you? That's the master question right there. If you can answer that question, you need to shut your beak and be what you know. That's what I got to say. Islam.
Islamism. We give honors to you, Chairman, for that drawing. Yes, sir. You know, we got to be what we want to see. That's right, Chairman. We give honors to you for that powerful measure. Straightforward and to the point. All right. Well, at this time, let us call forth our national Grand Sheik, Dr. Serapis Amin Rael, Moorish America, Islam. You there, Sheik? Oh, man. Freedom is on the manifest. Go ahead, Grand Man.
It's live. Yeah, he's trying to come down with all them issues.
Islam.
Yeah, let's make sure this demonstration land right before I go to talking. Islam. We want to rise and give a lot of praise. Highest honors to his last thought and his industrious ways. That is our prophet. Know what you Ali. Came 5 times more powerful to set us all free. Praise the Lord for setting that brother. Praise the Lord for our sisters as well as our Grand Mufti, 50 Grand Mufti Court, Divine Minister, Student Ministers of Life, of Royal Council, Citizens, sympathizing
unanimous blessings and blessings that we receive from on high on this grand day from our 50 grand sheep, sent out a vibration throughout the universe, throughout the world, showing one that it's not impossible for you to be free. All you have to do is seek freedom afar off, not too far away from you. It's where you are imagining it to be. And let one know that you're not working by yourself. And I think this is the killing factor. It's not working by yourself. You have a multitude of words that are ready for you to take on the mantle of freedom, to take on the mantle of being the truth, to take on the mantle of getting rid of falsehood, to taking on the mantle of being able to stand upright, fearless, and independent, and support your government, support your house, support your home, support that which is yours, that birthright, not someone that somebody giving you. If they can give it to you, they can take it away. I.e. 14th, 15th Amendment, and all that foolishness that one try to lay down on the moral every day. But here we are, we got a universal right. See, a universal right to be free, you know, and to be self-sufficient, self-sustaining, and self-starting. Being able to stand on principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and worry about nothing save the law, being our aides and sisters. That he not stop from hearing our cries, that he not stop from hearing our pleas, that he will answer to everything we ask him for in certain degrees. And everyone demonstrates the high side of the universe, and our system guarantees gave it all, distributed to the world to get a draw off of it. You are entitled to this. It's your birthright. Come and learn of your free natural name. See, come and learn of your free natural name, that you won't be slave of being accountable to slave holders. Let them ones go on about their business. Cut them loose. You ain't got to argue with the one. All you got to do is come on home. So thank you for attending this session, and Dr. Shadi, thank you for this very powerful message that you laid on our lap this evening and our plate. We're going to eat as we hang up, and praise the Lord for the attendance of our guests. Throughout MOORISH America, welcome. And we will say this in parting. Welcome home. Come on home. This is your house. The Jew built for your salvation and the elevation. Praise the Lord. January 15, 1929, I wanted them to practice the word in every meeting. I live out for them, all Christians. If I'm feeling all radical, I think they be speaking while they're working their own on the street. We have to peace, not destruction. Stop flashing your cars in European. It causes confusion. Remember, your car is for your salvation. Every two babies daughters will be a severe consequence. We have to learn truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, just again will take its course. Any citizen, I'm just a citizen, who opened this toward the government or any process of violating the divine covenant of the MOORISH movement, you receive every reward from the law for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law that goes down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, to turn in their card and button, each one in the third, and return to the state where all the prophets found it. This is the everlasting movement. This is holding the bad movement. Founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet therefore is getting out, but his hands, please. The armed warriors Americans, they do their part of protecting the prophet and the government. This is the everlasting movement, founded by the prophet to the will of Allah, to deliver people from the sinful ways. The other prophets, Noble Drew Ali. It's divine warning is supreme law now, and will be enforced. That is said government is Islam, Islam, Islam. All the covenant of the Israelitic nation. You have taken one father, the battle for by his care, and the death of one mother has given you stuff. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers. Let peace and happiness in the world and not find us out. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity. And to burn our stranger because our own blood. If our brothers in adversity, assist them. If our sisters in trouble, forsake her not. First ever fortunes of our Father contribute to the support of this whole race. And his care be continued to you all in the love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. Tomorrow is our Sunday school. We'll see you at that particular point. Much love to you. Long live Moorish America. Peace, love, and law. Islam.
Yes,
Great class, Dr. J.
Great class.
There's a lot more.
Love you, Grand Sheik. Love your sister, Grand Sheik.
Great class.
Islam, we love you, Moors. Islam. Peace and love, Moors. We love you. All right, Moors.
This session is no longer being recorded.
Islam. See you tomorrow in Sunday school. Islam. All right, peace and love, family. We want to give honor to everybody that showed up out there in social media. Brother Bati Bay, Noble Brian, Jay, Charles Warrior, Ray Sean, Irvin, Avenge the Ancestors, Noble Brian, Raheem Shamori, Brother Atom 79, Sunlight Bay, Mary Buntus. Give honors to you as well. Peace and love. Islamism.